let's talk about. We're talking about rolling.
So, yeah, I just don't think it benefits the average person to start full on sparring at any time. Having them, do the little sparring games. Having them just try to escape. Have them do just guard retention stuff. Have them do very focused bits of sparring where they understand the objective.
It's part of like their technique and drills. Don't tell them it's actual rolling. Like, okay, I'm gonna step back now. You guys go at it. I'll over here, kind of thing.
So even then, when they come to, so I have an open mat on Saturdays, and then Sunday. The great thing about owning the place, right, is Sundays are whenever I feel like it.
Okay.
Where I'll just put it out there on social media and send out text, and then I just thought about this. I should have it. I'm going to put a message board on my website and tell people, and I don't know if there's a way that I could, probably maybe get an app to where if folks want, they can get an alert when I post. I don't know. Anyway,
so that can. I mean,
I'm sure, right? I just want folks to be able to just go on my website and say, "Are we doing a Sunday open mat? Is Coach doing Sunday open mat?" Boom, cool, yes, or or is one of the folks that has a key to the place doing the Sunday open mat until we decide just to have it on the schedule permanently. But then during those open mats, I still have folks do some positional stuff right at the very beginning where I'm like, look, let's just warm up head position. Put your hands behind your back. Person A, in judo terms again, I had to decide whether or not to use what terms. Do I use the catch wrestling term? Do I use the just American nickname? Do I use the 10th planet name? whatever name I use. I'm like, a lot of these things, the Japanese name is the easiest thing to name it because it'll show up later, and the name tells you what it is, and it's just the easiest thing to do, I think, sometimes. But when we're doing things like with a drill, and I go, who's the partner and who's the what? Well, there's a phrase for that, uke and tori. When you're doing the drill, you're the uke. When I'm the partner that's there to help you, I'm the uke. You're the tori. When you're the one doing the move, I'm the partner helping you do the move. You're doing the takedown. To me, you're the tori. I'm the uke. So I can easily, if I get everybody on that same page, there's a term for it. I'm like, okay, one person, put your hand up. Go. Person with their hand up, you're uke. Other person, you're tori. You're going to try to change head level. You're going to try to get above or below them with your hands behind your back. And we warm up that way. And that even just gets their brain thinking about one of the most important things in all of grappling, which is head position. Before we just jump into open mat, slap hands and go. And then even from there, I might even say, all right, let's just do a round of opening someone's closed guard. Person on bottom, try to keep your guard closed. Person on top, if it opens at all, go back. Little stuff like that. Or just a Toriando drill, which, for those of you that don't know jiu-jitsu, think of a bullfighter. I grab the partner's legs, the partner's lying on their back, I grab their legs, I throw them out of the way, and then I go to get on top. Just warming up with that and say, hey, don't let go of the pants. Just don't let go of the pants. Person on top, that's the only rule, is you can't let go of the pants. Yeah. You can run in any direction. Person on bottom, you just got to do what you got to do to stay alive.
Well, I think that's what beginners, they don't know what to do.
Yeah, what do you know?
So you've only taught them so many skills and techniques, but now,
but if I can get them warming up into an open mat and go, okay, I don't have to win today. And then I even tell them that before we start. I'm like, you don't have to win today. If you're pretty new at this stuff, just think about head position. Just think about whatever, and then go. And then we do our open mat sparring. Hey, start in a person's guard. Pick one, the guard of the month, whatever it is, the guard of our plan, whatever lesson plan block. Start in that if you're not sure what to do. And then as people leave open mat, usually it's the newer folks, then I can have my more experienced folks. They're all warmed up. There's more room. Oh, you all want to start standing and actual takedowns and takedown defense? You guys can get after it now. So
and I'm completely...
Everybody gets what they want then.
Right. I think because as you advance, you want to do more advanced stuff, and that's the whole point of martial arts. But I just want to get your take on sparring or rolling. At what point does it help or hurt?
Mm-hmm.
Or how do you do it as a game like you do during class? Yeah, I think those are good methods to kind of get people into sparring and feeling comfortable sparring, doing open mat. and feeling comfortable at showing up if they have something to learn and do.
See, yeah. So I was I try to figure out my energy level. That I used to go to jiu-jitsu or judo or wrestling pretty much 6 days a week, right? And like you said, what do wrestlers do? They drill. So I'd go out and train with Coach Alex, and we'd only drill for an hour. I felt great. I felt great. I'd go to jiu-jitsu, dead. Judo, dead, because we sparred for an hour afterwards. And I'm not a big guy, and I'm not one of these wizards on the mat. You know what I mean? I'm just good enough, right? And so I'd be so sore and beat up that like it would be tough to go to the next day.
Right.
And because you're like, I'm gonna get my ass kicked the next day. I'm gonna spar the next day. What I love is people come to my gym. Sometimes they'll come to 10 classes a week. They'll take, at minimum 5 classes a week because they can, because their bodies can handle it. Because on Monday, we just drilled. Tuesday, we drilled, maybe picked up the pace a little bit. Wednesday, more sparring games because now you know what we did Monday and Tuesday. Thursday, now we can pick it up some more. Friday, we can do a little bit of sparring. We can get after it. Saturday, we go nuts. Sunday, you rest.
Yeah, I think that's, I think people who first start, they're into it and that's great and gung-ho, but it does take a toll on your body. Like I do Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu, and sometimes I would do back-to-back classes, one at 11, one at 12, and I would just be smashed, especially if you do Muay Thai first, and then you're sparring, and then you go into Jiu-Jitsu, and you're just beat and sweaty and tired, and you're just getting smashed. You're like, oh my God, something's got to change. I had to stop. I had to do one or the other.
Yep.
And it wasn't that I didn't. I think you just have to prepare yourself. If you're going to do both, you have to prepare yourself nutritionally. You have to be ready because that's a lot of time in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing an hour class, and then you're doing another hour class, and you're going to roll. You have to prepare your body. You have to eat. You have to drink. Your body. You need calories to do that.
Yeah.
Or you're just spent and beat anyway. So
and realistically, one of those classes should be nothing but drilling.
Yeah.
So if you're going to do Muay Thai, there's no way you should spar if you're going to do Jiu-Jitsu afterwards. There's just no way.
Yeah,
you shouldn't. You should only just hit the pads. And even then, you probably don't want to crush those pads. Mm-hmm. You probably want good, solid technique, head movement, and all footwork, and just get your technique down pat. And then you go into Jiu-Jitsu. You'll probably want be smart about the warm up then because you're going from one thing to the other. You're like, well, I'm warm.
You're warm, yeah.
But you're not warmed up, and that's that energy system. It's a different thing.
Yeah.
So make sure.
Rolling with techniques and jiu-jitsu, you may not necessarily have to roll afterwards and get smashed, but if you can just kind of, I think you're warmed up. Your brain is ready to learn some specific techniques, but it's usually after that. Mm-hmm. That's where you have to watch sparring and the rolling afterwards. If you're going to do back-to-back classes, because it's so much. It's so, you just end up taking days off, and it kind of defeats your training. But again, it wasn't terrible because you and I have been training for a long time. Our bodies are used to doing things of endurance, but still, it's just structurally on your body. You're just achy, and you want to go to class the next day, but you're like, oh man. Hands, my grips, I can't even close.
Right, so like you can't even do the technique right.
I know. Then that's where you kind of back off. If there's anything to do, if you're going to do anything after a while, it's more about as you age. I'm older than you. Your body just can't do as much at one time, and that's why I'm glad I can focus on just the Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu right now, and then just blend in some other stuff. I don't run as much anymore because there was just a lot of wear and tear on my ankles and knees. I maybe do 3 to 6 miles tops now, whereas I used to do longer stuff, but I don't do that kind of training anymore. And I'm okay with that because I found something I want to get better at. Mm-hmm. My whole life I've been doing other sports, but now I just want to try to get good at doing this, and that's, as far as treating your body and preparing your body for Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, it's different for anybody who wants to do it and start getting into it. Just kind of go to class every day. Don't get too hardcore into it. Don't get smashed as much. Mm-hmm. Everything you're feeling is completely normal. Mm-hmm. You're gonna think like, oh, I don't think it's normal. That's normal. Mm-hmm. Your fingers, your hands, your feet, every little joint is gonna hurt, and that's just how it is.
Yeah. I mean, we just did, like I said, we did a block of no-gi for the summer, and I went back to we went back to the gi, and then on Monday, after jiu-jitsu, some of my judo training partners come in, and we drew some pretty hardcore judo grip fighting and drilling, right? I felt like Popeye. I mean, my forearms are still sore, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I only took a few weeks off of the gi, like, a month off of the gi for the summer. And even then, I was still doing private lessons in the gi. I was still, I was still doing my training with my judo instructor once a week in the gi. So it's not like I went from zero to, no, I was still doing the thing. I just wasn't doing a lot of sparring in the gi. But man, 4 weeks later, I was like, you'd think I'd never gripped a gi before my forearms hurt so bad.
Even at this point, you figure, okay, your hands, you toughen them up, but no,
Still.
Yeah. I haven't been able to go to class as much this week. I had some dental work done. You could probably hear it, but, the work that I had, I don't think, it's still weird how we always turn everything to jiu-jitsu about breathing, but if you, and that, the time I had to spend, I spent like 90 minutes in the chair and then doing, dental surgery, and the breathing, if I wasn't able to like be calm and just, it's almost like being choked for 90 minutes.
It is, I hate it.
What they had to do and the things they had to put in your mouth, they kept asking me, like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm okay.
Yeah.
It's not one of those things. They knew what I did. They know I practice, martial arts, and just the fact that, you have to be there for 90 minutes, not breathing. They got things in your mouth. You're trying not to choke, and you being able to calm your body down and breathe through your nose and through your mouth. I just haven't been able to work out this week that way, just because, guys are, you can get hit in the mouth, and you can get a knee in the mouth, and
guaranteed.
Dentists don't want you.
You could not get hit in the mouth for a month, and then you go to the dentist, and the next workout you're gonna get hit in the mouth.
Yeah, they're like, just take the week off.
Take the week off.
You'll be okay.
For sure.
It's like, I trust me. I just can't guarantee anybody else would accidentally slip, hit you in the mouth, or get a knee. So, the amount of money you spend on dental work,
it's ridiculous.
Forget it. I'm not taking the chance. I'd rather talk funny for a week.
Yep.
And then just let it heal, and then I'll start back on Monday. So that's kind of why I have that weird list. My tongue keeps going to the thing. It's like, I don't normally talk like this, but that's just how it is. So
one of the last podcasts I was on was the old Grappler Union podcast, and I had my wrestling coach Alex there, and in it, even in the picture for it that we took afterwards, I took my front tooth out because I had a flipper tooth for a year because my two front teeth are fake, because when I was a kid I smacked onto a pipeline. So, and then later on this year I wrecked my bike and broke one of those teeth, so I had to go through that whole process.
When I was in high school, I was messing around with somebody in the house, and I ducked down and I jammed my two front teeth on. We had wooden chairs around the dining room table, and I just didn't know where I was. I jammed and I shattered. My tooth just went back, and it was like, you're going into high school. I think it was my freshman year. Going in with shattered tooth. It was just terrible. So that's where all the shit started. The bad dental work, but and they're just fixing it now. So it's fine. It's just you just talk funny for a while. So it's 800 milligrams of ibuprofen. Solves everything.
800
milligrams. That's all you need. But yeah, I'm off that now. So, okay, I think that's where I want to stop now. I told you I want to head back because there's other things I want to talk about. I just, especially now that we're back in kind of a weird thing with the gyms and the protocols that are coming out this week. I want to see how that changes the business again. Because I want to stay on top of this. This is just something that we have to solve.
I just decided to go to train on my mats, be vaccinated. Yeah. Just the way I'm going with it. There were so many people that were like, there was enough people to say, look, it's your business. I'm not going to tell you what to do. But if you do have an unvaccinated person here, if you could just let me know, I'd prefer not to be in the classes with that person. That I was like, well, seeing as how roughly it was 55-1, I just had to, and it was unfortunate, it was a bummer, but and so far right now that's only been the one. In, like I said, in our neighborhood it's not usually a big issue to have somebody that doesn't follow the most solid science in the history of modern science.
Yeah, and I think we'll see that now, especially when things start. I think tomorrow in Chicago is when they start the new rules as far as that goes. I just want to see how it works on the business side. And I'm keeping track of other states and other gym where they just what they're going to require to stay open. They're just that's fine. Just whatever it takes to stay open. It's kind of like restaurants. They did whatever it took to stay open. Some didn't survive. We just have to do that for ourselves so we can stay open and just keep going no matter what. So, all right, well, I appreciate you coming.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Look forward to having you on the mats again soon.
I'll be there.
Awesome.
I'll be there. Just let my face heal so
So we can smash it again.
Your techniques, those were some good ones. I enjoyed those kind of moves. So
awesome. Glad you liked it.
All right, thanks, buddy.
Thanks a lot.